Joining me now on the Knicks Film School Podcast. He has a new pod on the Blue Wire Podcast Network. It is a narrative podcast called NBA Storytime. It is awesome and hysterical and amazing. If you have not listened to it yet, what are you doing? He's also the co-host of Airbuds, an NBA comedy podcast, also, of course, on the Blue Wire Podcast Network. And you could find him on Twitter at Nonprofit Comic. Please welcome to the show, Jamel Johnson. Hello, sir. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, yo. Thanks for having me, guys. Thank you for also telling me how to describe my own show, narrative podcast. Like, people are like, what's the show? And I'm like, I like tell a story or some shit. I don't know. You got to like listen and then somebody else will.
Let's start there because I find it fascinating that like with so much content out there about specifically the NBA, but just in general, like everybody and their mother, if there's, there's probably 875 different podcasts about basket weaving at this point. Like I really don't feel like we have something like this. Where did you come up with the concept?
Honestly, the general Peter Moses, my guy over at Blue Wire, he was like, "Hey, do you want to do this?" We're like, we had this idea. And I'm like, shit, I'm in, Him and Harry Sport out, he did a bunch of the writing. And then I had my guy Dan come in and we, wrote a couple more, did some punch-ups here, there. It was a real team effort. I just kind of got brought in on it.
So we should say for anybody who doesn't know, you're basically, so there's kind of two different types of episodes you put out. There are the episodes where you kind of tell in narrative form about like kind of a forgotten NBA story or maybe something that doesn't get as much play as it should. But then, and this is what I really love, you have post-game episodes to those episodes in which you talk to someone about the subject matter, which like, I'm honestly not sure which I like more, the original shows or the post-games.
I mean, it does make the shit mad re-listenable. Yeah, the story's pretty short. It's like a 10-minute story, and then we talk about it for like 15, maybe 20 if things get real weird. It depends, on who's coming in, who wants to get jokey or whatever.
When I first became familiar with you, obviously for a few years because you have quite a history in the business. I thought of you as a comedian. Obviously your stand-up, you've done television work and all that good stuff. So why the NBA? Why was this the direction that you wanted to go to bring your comedy to like the podcast format?
Honestly, I just love watching basketball so much. It's just the thing, like people ask me what I'm watching all the time. I'm like, I'm watching a game. I don't know what show is on. I'm watching fucking Francello doing fucking FIBA. The Africa game I'm watching, you know what I'm saying? I want a game on.
If there's basketball on, you're going to be watching it.
Exactly. So that's the start. And then, it seemed like there was a void, especially when we started Airbuds. It wasn't a lot of comedy, basketball things. Why would there be? It's like a sport. Everybody's trying to be serious or whatever, I guess. But then
I don't know about that because like to me, like, I follow all the sports, but the reason I've kind of gravitated to the NBA is I feel like there is a more personal level to it in terms of like, the NFL is, and especially Major League Baseball, like, I don't feel like you get to know those guys. The NBA, like, some of the personalities in the sport, I actually feel like those, if ever there was going to be a sport where this type of a podcast would exist in, it would be the NBA. That's
true. And I mean, the NBA is the funniest of them all. I know I just said that, was trying to be serious, but like All-Star Weekend was always funny. Yeah. The Nike ads are always funny.
Russell Westbrook is funny. I just laugh whenever I see Russell Westbrook just going about his
Yeah, remember when he was wearing glasses with no prescription?
Just why? Why are you doing that? Doesn't make any sense. See, I would like to hear a narrative podcast about
if those glasses were real.
Exactly. Yeah. And I also, see, we could give a whole new podcast based on this. Like, I want to hear from his like clothing designer or his fashion PR, whatever that is. These are things that interest me.
That's a good point, man.
So we'll get to the Knicks in a second, but we're recording this right now. It's Wednesday, July 7th. The game one of the finals happened last night.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any, like, what are your thoughts on these finals? Do you think that the winner should get like an asterisk because of all the injuries? Are you buying it 100% legit? Where are you at?
I mean, it happens every now and again. This feels crazier than ever. I mean, you know, what a year it has been. But, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but, like, once or twice a decade, somebody who seemingly isn't supposed to win wins it, right?
I would argue it happens more often than that. Like, so this is in retrospect, we like remember, for instance, like the 2014 Spurs team that beat the Heat in 5 games, the air conditioner game in game 1. Like, we look back on, or at least I look back on that. I'm like, oh my God, that's the most beautiful basketball anyone's ever played. But before that series, like, everybody was like, oh, LeBron and the Heat are going to win their 3rd in a row, right?
No, for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I wonder how we'll look back. It'll be interesting to see how do you think we're going to look back? I'm going off topic already. How do you think we'll look back on this series maybe 5-10 years from now? Because I feel like maybe this will be like, oh, this is when we learned that Devin Booker was like one of the top 5 players in the NBA or something like that.
It really depends on if the Suns win or if they don't. I think if the Bucks win, everybody's going to be like, asterisk, don't fucking, what is this?
Because everybody hates Milwaukee.
This isn't fucking basketball anymore. What are you guys doing? But if the Suns win, yeah, it's like Chris Paul had his moment, Devin Booker arose. I mean, that team, goddamn. I mean, Bridges.
They don't have any weak spots.
Yeah, how consistent is he? He's the fucking 4th banana. Doesn't miss. Always cutting when he's supposed to.
It's so funny because we're, again, talk about something I'd love to do here a narrative podcast on. We're 2 years removed from the goat shit article in ESPN about their GM that were, I don't know, did you catch that one where they had someone, oh, Andrew, I may need you to step in. There was some reason why they had goats. I swear I'm not making this up. Goats in the office of the general manager of the team at the time, Ryan McDonough. And there was a reason for it, which is, of course, escaping me. But apparently the goats or goat, was it multiple goats, Andrew? Do you remember?
I have the article pulled up. It was a practical joke.
Oh, a practical joke.
So from a Diana Taurasi event, they stuck goats in Ryan McDonough's office and they shit all over the floor.
Okay, there we go.
I'm glad the Mercury are getting involved.
Yeah,
that's cool. Shouts out to them. You know,
see, look at us. Look at the NBA
franchise. Yeah,
cross promoting.
But wait, wait. What old woman are you? Because you're saying,
yeah, my bad. Okay, so there
like
was
a famous fan or something.
Yeah, famous fan. They had like a it was like a Suns. I don't know if it was like a season ticket holder event.
Okay,
but so for some reason, this 70-year-old woman got a mic at this like Suns town hall meeting, and she was like, "The management is garbage. Y'all don't know how to draft." She like broke down like 10 years of decisions.
So in particular, she called out Robert Sarver and was "You're like you haven't lived until you Googled Phoenix Suns old woman." There's a video tonight. There's a video on YouTube of her at a city council meeting, just obliterating Phoenix Suns owner Robert Sarver.
So we don't quite need this because we just had we'll transition to the Knicks because we just had a pretty good year here. But like, if the Suns do indeed win it with Robert Sarver as their owner, I feel like this is a good sign for fans of teams who maybe have owners that have not always been exactly what you want. So we'll turn to the Knicks. How, like, again, you're not like a Knicks fan or anything. So from afar, like, how did you view this Knicks season? Do you think it's like fool's gold? Do you think like they're legit back? They're going to be here for a while doing some things. Where are you at?
I mean, it looked pretty good to me. As a Wizards fan, I've had, a front row seat to a lot of L's from y'all. And I mean, the core looks good. Nobody's too old or anything. Mm-hmm. It's like you got Derrick Rose is the oldest piece, right?
That's true. And no, Taj Gibson. Don't forget about it.
Taj Gibson playing for his life.
We do not sleep on Taj Gibson on this podcast.
No, fair enough.
He's the patron saint of it. Wait, so before we're gonna get to your pod in a sec. One more thing I'll let's do a little GMing. So Bradley Beal walks into your office. You're the GM of the team now, and he says, "Okay, it's time. I'm leaving in a year anyway. But he's like, you could send me wherever you want. I don't care. Just get the best deal you could get." Are you even thinking about speaking to the Knicks if they don't put RJ Barrett on the table?
Yeah, no. I mean, what would I mean, Julius Randle.
We got Randle. We got Emmanuel Quickly. We got Obi Toppin.
It's just aside from Barrett, it's a bunch of shit we don't exactly need. Not even shit. I'm just saying, like, we got Rui.
You got Rui.
We got Rui. We got Gafford.
You got Gafford. I like Gafford.
We're stuck to Thomas Bryant. Whether it's
he was
right or not.
He was balling before the injury. I felt really bad.
Okay, having Gafford makes me feel better about it because Gafford is not interested in shooting threes at all. Sure, if you want to be 7 feet tall and play four, you want to be a stretch four, you can do it now. But before I saw Gafford on the team, I was like, dude, you have to be in the paint.
There was 2 guys this year that I feel like everybody was like, why did their teams just like want to dispose of them so quickly? One was Daniel Gafford, the other was Bruce Brown on Brooklyn. Don't know what those teams were doing. Okay, so you're not interested if it doesn't include Barrett. That's fair.
I would like to see Barrett. I would like to at least have a word with him. At least come down, have a sandwich. Let's talk.
Turkey sandwich.
Just talk. Just talk. Because that's great for y'all. I mean, you guys need I'll be trying to get back a point guard too, though.
Us. Well, so I think that's why we're not trading RJ Barrett, but Bradley. It's funny. I think there are actually people out there who would rather trade Barrett for Beal than for Lillard.
I don't know about that.
I mean, you watch the guy every day. Who do you think is the better guy?
I mean, it's Lillard, but slightly different positions.
Obviously.
But if you're counting on both of them to bring up the ball, definitely Dame.
For sure.
If Brad gets to play too, for real, then, who knows? But Dame's still better. Just winning.
He's also older, though. He's also older. So
that's fair. And Bill's right there, dog. I mean, he's right there. It's like not that much of a difference.
No, he's good. Well, unfortunately, Barrett is off the table, so these discussions have to end. Let's turn to your podcast. So you've done 3 episodes so far. You did a Shaq versus Hakeem one. You did the Draymond Green. I don't know. I'll just call it the nut shot.
Yeah, the nut era.
The nut era. Yeah,
it's quite literally a flagrant 2.
Yeah. I mean, he almost killed Steven Adams. He almost killed that man.
He did. You can't be doing that stuff. And then you did one, which is, I have to say, it's my favorite because you referenced the biography, which is one of my favorite sports biographies ever, the Wilt Chamberlain biography.
View from Above. Yeah.
Yes. Well, no, that's the autobiography.
You mean the
Larger Than Life.
Yeah, there we go.
Yes. Great book for anybody who's looking for a good NBA book to read. And you talk about how he allegedly slept with 20,000 women. I have to say, where did the impetus for that show come from?
I mean, it came from him talking about it on Conan. He was on Conan in like 97 and, promoting his book. And then, he was like, I like monogamy now. Yes, I did sleep with 20,000 women. It's just fat. Like, all right, I guess, man. How, just to eat that number is crazy.
It is a lot. Like 20,000 when you think about it. It also takes a lot of stamina. I'm curious, like I can't even imagine what would be the closest thing an NBA player today could come out and say. Like nobody said anything in the last 15 years that comes close to anything like that, right? Like we just don't get that kind of thing. No,
you won't hear that. You won't hear anything like that again. I think probably not. But also so what's happening now is women who have hooked up with NBA players, or they'll be like, okay, I've seen this, and that. So we're kind of hearing more from the other side than ever. But that number's still, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you could see, I have a framed commemoration of J.R. Smith's, what was that? I think it was an IG back and forth with someone asking a young lady if she would like to partake in the pipe. I feel like J.R. Smith is the spiritual ambassador to Wilt. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, just given the way, he's the only shirtless champion.
He is the only shirtless champion
in league history. It's hard to say it's not him. There might be some guys who aren't exactly stars who give him a run. I think Will Barton's giving him a run. I think we don't speak about Will Barton enough. I think Will Barton has an all-star track record that we'll never know. We'll never know the depths Will Barton has truly gone.
So maybe not someone to bring to the city of New York as a trade target or eventual free agent signing.
Well, hey, who knows? Sometimes dudes play exclusively for the coitus,
That is a clip. And to each their own. Cast the first stone, not me. Anyway, so one more on this one. What's another urban legend, NBA urban legend that seems like it's probably bullshit, but which you think is actually true? So put aside the 20,000 women. Do you think like the Patrick Ewing frozen envelope, like the Jordan gambling suspension?
Yeah.
Is there one that you think is like actually legit?
Well, we've been talking a lot about Paul Pierce pooping his pants. That one has to be probably true.
Hasn't that been proven? Am I imagining that was proven recently?
Well, he say something? He kind of alluded to.
Yes, that's what it was.
So, that's a good one that I think is 100% true. Allen Iverson spending $100,000 at the TGI Fridays.
Oh, I hadn't even heard that one.
Yeah. I think it was All-Star Weekend in DC, which is his city. Yeah. Went to Georgetown. It's his town. He got MVP, and I believe he shut down the TGI Fridays on I Street for a complete 24 hours.
I was about to ask how many hours would you? Because like TGI Fridays, I don't think there's anything on a TGI Fridays menu that's more than what, $20, $19.99. I mean,
yeah, the best. The Jack Daniel's steak like is probably
marinated 24. Yeah, in Jack Daniel's, that's like maybe $20.
Yeah.
So you really. Like that's some math involved with that. Forget the 20,000 women.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of Long Island iced teas. You know what I'm saying? I think the bar, I think he was just handing out shots for hours and hours and hours.
What do you think Allen Iverson drinks when he's really, not when he's like hanging out on a Tuesday night in his own house. I'm talking about when he's out.
When he's out and about, he might be a vodka guy. A lot of these dudes who came up in that when rappers all had vodkas.
Oh, yeah.
So he might still be like a vodka cran, maybe even a Red Bull, sugar-free Red Bull. We don't know.
I could see AI with a sugar-free Red Bull, keeping it healthy. Let's go back to the nut shot for a second, the flagrant 2, as it were. I think sometimes about like the amount of careers that were altered because of that. Because like, let's just start with LeBron. Like, so if that doesn't happen, we figure LeBron doesn't win that championship. Where is his legacy at that point? Or like flip it over. If Steph does win it, then he gets 2 in a row on his own team, but then no Kevin Durant maybe comes because Kevin Durant wouldn't come to a 2-time champ. Like, do you ever spend time thinking about like how that single play probably altered the course of NBA history, at least legacies wise, more than anything?
Yeah, I do, but I never thought about it from the Steph and Durant angle because you're right. That doesn't. So then where does Durant go? Does he leave? Does he go to Cleveland? Is it LeBron and Durant?
I mean, I'd love to get the Knicks in this conversation, but he wanted no part, I think, of that. I think actually, you know what? He may have gone to Boston.
Because that was the team I remember he did fucking Bill Simmons and shit. It was like. Simmons likes to build up how like he was really thinking about them. Yeah, and Durant was like, "Let it go, man." He's just like, I thought about it for like one day.
So let's play this out. Let's just say for arguments, because he was getting out of OKC. Because do we really think he was staying with Russ? I doubt it.
Who knows? I think it was about beating LeBron more than not wanting to play with Russ too. Just in my head, because of how the chips fell too afterwards, especially because he was always chasing LeBron. True. And he was very public about it from, kind of early on.
Yeah.
And so I think that's just where his head was. So he probably wasn't going there
to Boston.
Cleveland. Or
to Cleveland. Oh no, he wasn't going to Cleveland. He's definitely going to Cleveland. So maybe let's just say he goes to Boston. And then there's some LeBron KD battles in the East.
Do they not get Tatum in this world? Ooh. Is that who's gone? Is it like no Brown or no Tatum?
No, because that wasn't there. That was the Nets pick.
Oh shit! So they get these dudes anyway?
Yeah, they would get them anyway.
That's so fucked up.
Yes. Yeah, well, Boston sports.
I hate this game.
No, but then you could also think about so Chris Paul ends up getting traded to Houston. Does Houston still lose to Golden State because, after Chris Paul injures his hamstring? Does Chris Paul then not get traded to the Thunder? Does Harden ass out of you? Really, one nut shot, two nuts, one shot.
One shot. And LeBron knew exactly what he was doing, by the way.
You believe that?
Oh, for sure. All these dudes all have league pass, like the good league pass. They're watching every game. You know what I'm saying? They know exactly what's going on, and they know Draymond has been kicking people in the dick all fucking playoffs.
Is Draymond Green Hall of Famer? Easy, he's gonna make the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
easy Hall of Fame conversation, or do you think there should be a conversation?
I think if they win gold this year and he's on the team, I guess the conversation's over, man.
So you think that would actually okay?
Well, honestly, because don't they just want to see a bunch of years? Like maybe if he if he was to stop playing right after this, he wouldn't be first ballot just on time. But what, a few more seasons, just a couple more playoff appearances, you could lock it up, right?
But it's the NBA. Like everybody gets it. I got into trouble this summer a little bit with one former Raptor, one soon to be former Raptor, I think. Kyle Lowry and DeRozan, because I think, again, both of those guys are getting in. I think Lowry's an easy case. And I had a lot of pushback on Lowry.
Pushback on Lowry over DeRozan? DeRozan's the tough one.
I think DeRozan's the tougher one. I'll give you that. But I think he's going to get in. I think all these guys are getting in. Because it's the NBA. It's participation trophy.
For sure. And all of these dudes, anyone who played in Team USA, anyone who gets a gold medal should probably be in the Basketball Hall of Fame. I don't know.
That's an argument. I'm here for that. As long as they do other, commensurate stuff.
Yeah. And then they all have college careers. You make one Final Four, you get a gold medal.
Pretty good.
I'm in.
It's not bad. I want to go back to the first episode that you did before we finish up, because I was like, he did not do a narrative on the Taco Bell one-on-one pay-per-view matchup, but you did. And I'm curious, go to today, fast forward, I guess, 25 years. Can you give me your top 3 one-on-ones that you would like Taco Bell to challenge or to sponsor today amongst players in the league?
KD versus LeBron, sure.
Easy number one.
Easy one.
I'll throw out one since we were just talking about it, both of these guys a minute ago. What about Steph versus Dame? Is that in the top 3?
Yeah. Steph or Dame is definitely in top 3. I mean, I just feel like we're going to need every Pepsi product available for that one. It can't just be Taco Bell. We're going to have Mountain Dew's going to need their own special section.
Yes. Everybody. I'm wondering, is there like any big man one-on, because it was so funny how the game has changed. They chose 2 centers. Like, is there any centers who would even be, if you said, okay, this guy versus this guy, would even be in contention for the 3rd spot? Because I could think of probably like a dozen guards or wings I'd rather see matched up than like, who would it be? I guess Embiid, Jokic? Is that
Embiid and Jokic is a game. Embiid and Jokic is a great game. Or AD, I'm like, who's the matchup for AD? Fucking give me Julius Randle. Do it at the park. Yo, Julius versus AD off fucking West 4th Street, dude. Fuck it, man. Put him in let's go to the jungle.
I'm down for that. You know, you got Julius. He had the pictures 2 off seasons ago with the chains and everything. Like he could walk into West Fourth with the chains on.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind it. That could be fun.
I'd wager. I'd wager some money on that, and I would pay several American dollars to watch that.
I just want to see like a point guard tournament of champions. Just give me all of these like Rondo versus Pat Bev. It's just a fist fight. Let's just, you know what I'm saying? Let's just watch them fight.
Wait, I was about to say, do you want to see the basketball or do you want to just like an MMA tournament involving those guys?
I just want to see dudes scrap. Okay, so it's them two. Let's throw Lonzo in there. Let's throw Chris Paul in there.
Sure.
I'm just trying to what 8 guards would eventually lead to a fist fight?
Well, we can't. It has to be guards, so no, like Jay Crowder, and obviously no Draymond.
Oh well, no. You know what? Jay Crowder gets the last spot, but it's gonna be last.
I mean, you can't have that tournament right without
Jay Crowder. You're right.
Without Jay Crowder,
but you could throw John Wall in there. We'll throw LaMelo in there, just and then like he's got to play Lonzo in the first round. I was
about to say we'll just
do that.
That's not a real. Like I would want LaMelo in my draw if I'm that.
For sure.
I'm trying to think if there's another good one that I'd probably pick Chris Paul to come out of that. Although Rondo's a pretty good one. Does Luka count as a point guard?
We'll give him a slot. I could give him a slot on this. Should be one white guy. There should be one white guy there.
Is there any other white guy who is even in the discussion for that? You know who I bet? Here's people are going to hate this because I advocate for the Knicks signing him. TJ McConnell.
Hey,
that little.
Yeah, he's going to get on a lot of people's nerves.
You're telling me he wouldn't. Come on. You know it.
Pat Bev versus TJ McConnell in the first round of a winner take all point guard off.
That's pretty good. I see. Now we're talking about things that you want to get like my $30 or my $40. This is where is how that money comes out of my pocket.
That's intense.
Yes.
Can I throw an idea out there?
Please.
So if you add like a bonus round and the score is irrelevant to what everybody at home cares about, but you do Ben Simmons against Draymond and you say like there's a line you have to shoot from behind, and then it's not necessarily who like first to 11, whatever, but what people are actually betting on or counting on is the time of the match. And if it reaches an hour before either of them get to 11, like that's everybody gets free Taco Bell.
Oh fuck yeah! It's like craps.
Yes,
like they just
it's literally just like a last man standing match. You know,
that sounds incredible. See, this is some big dollar stuff.
Yeah, no.
Taco Bell, call us.
Pay-per-view, Taco Bell, somebody.
Speaking of Taco Bell, my last question: why did I order Taco Bell while listening to that episode? Is Taco Bell? Here it is. Is Taco Bell on the Mount Rushmore, on your personal Mount Rushmore of fast food?
I mean, today I think I have to say yes. Just the overall body of work. It's been a while since I've been, but also okay, it's definitely on the weed top 5 list. When I found out what marijuana was, Taco Bell became very important.
Is that really a different list?
I think it's a different list because I'm not going to Jack in the Box if I'm not smacked, man. What's the point? Why would I go there?
I'm trying to
go to
think
Wendy's or something.
I'm trying to think of what wouldn't make one list that would like. For when I think of my Mount Rushmore, my number one is probably White Castle, which that applies obviously to both.
Yeah, that definitely goes both ways.
As does Taco Bell.
Two-way player.
Is Pizza Hut a fast food?
I kind of say no. This is only drive-throughs. In my list I'm thinking drive-throughs.
Okay. That's fair. I don't know if we could have another burger place because I would throw Wendy's out there as well.
Wendy's is strong.
Wendy's a strong contender, but see, that's another one. I think it belongs on both lists. Yeah, this is really tough. We could be here all day talking about fast food Hall of Fame, but I like the idea of the weed one. That's good. Maybe
because in the drunk list is, who knows? The drunk list the drunk list might just be 5 7-Elevens in a row.
I'm not a drunk 7-Eleven partake. 7-Eleven, I get that's for my coffee in the morning because they have all the array of creamers out.
So 7-Eleven might be on the sober list because there's a sober list.
What would be? Hold on, we'll finish up. I promise. What would be on the sober list that definitely does not make any of the other lists?
Burger King, because Burger King is only where high schools are.
I did. What were you gonna say, Andrew?
Chick-fil-A.
Ooh, hey, they just have a sober attitude. Everything
in Jesus' name, we eat our food. Okay.
So that is on the sober list. I'm not putting them on the weed list. I don't care.
How can you put something on a weed list that is closed one day of the week, especially a weekend?
And it can't make,
especially Sunday.
And it can't make the drunk list because they're not open after midnight.
Exactly. And you're hitting on something too, that for the weed or the drunk list, like the availability of being like Taco Bell was the first that I can remember growing up that was open till 4 a.m., especially on weekends, why we haven't mentioned the Golden Arches yet.
Yeah.
And once they went to 24 hours, it's like when Netflix decided to start their streaming service and all these companies were like, wait, they can do that? And then they just got this gigantic head start, and here we are.
Your best ability is availability.
I'll tell you one that would be on the sober list. And I would have said Kenny Rogers Roasters, but they're not around anymore. So
Kenny Rogers.
So now that the flavors and the emotions that you get when you think about those flavors should be on every inebriation list, but you need skill and your all your faculties to eat the chicken because there's there's bones and different things of that nature. So you don't want to be falling all over yourself while you're trying to attack.
Gotta be on the ball.
This was fun. This was a good place to end. Kenny Rogers. We could reminisce about Kenny Rogers. One more time, Jamel. Can you pump up everything you're doing for the folks at home?
For sure. NBA Storytime. Storytime is one word. Look it up wherever you listen to anything. Add Airbuds if you want to watch. If you want to listen to three men who maybe hate each other. We don't know. There's drama. Listen to Airbuds or some shit like that. I'm at Nonprofit Comic on Twitter, and keep listening to Knicks Film School and get some gear because y'all logo is crazy. You guys got the craziest logo.
We both have our hoodies hanging proudly.
Strong.
Very
good.
We appreciate that. And I will say good luck to your Wizards next year.
Thank you. We'll see. Maybe we'll hire a coach. Maybe we won't.
Can you say Russell Westbrook player coach?
Would love it.
If Bill Russell could do it, I mean, obviously, Russell Westbrook, it's even in the name.
And at least in the timeout footage I've seen, it's a lot of him talking. So we could just.
It's a match made in heaven.